My name is Jorge Rojas. I'm Director of Education and Engagement at the Utah Museum of Fine Arts, and I want to welcome you all here tonight. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the Marmalade branch of the Salt Lake Public Library.
My name is Megan Hallett, and I'm the Director of Framework Arts, and the ACME session that I put together was about community engagement. The purpose of the session was to bring together a wide variety of people, certainly educators and people that are interested in the arts and are artists themselves, but also people in our community that are interested in increasing the art programming that we have here in Salt Lake. For that purpose, I brought together 3 other presenters. Kelsey Ellis, who's the Assistant Director of the Salt Lake City Arts Council, Gretchen Reynolds, who is an artist and also an art educator and works at our local library system, and then Eugene Ciccini, who is a University of Utah instructor and also an artist. As an art educator and a community member here in Salt Lake, I am interested in programming that not only gives people opportunities to make art, but also gives them opportunities to think about why we make art, what we're doing when we come together around creative projects, highlighting things that are already happening and allowing people to learn more about them, but also to think about ways to spread them. And so that was really the philosophy behind the night that we did. One of the things that all of the presenters and I wanted to do was have people do hands-on art making. We were interested in having them approach the art making in such a way that they were thinking about what it means right in that moment to be making art, but also the parallels between making that art and what it is like to be creatively engaged in our community. We wanted to create a map. Both Kelsey and I are interested in highlighting things that are already happening here in Salt Lake, but then giving people a chance to envision what other things that we could be doing. So we provided them with a map that had rudimentary references to what it means to live here in Salt Lake. We had a few mountains, we had an airplane, and then we invited them to think about how they're already participating, and then also to fill it in with things that they would like to be participating in. We gave them a variety of materials. We had a few rules behind our activity. We required people actually midway through to stand up and to move and to work on someone else's map. And then again, at the end, we made parallels between what that behavior is to be working on someone else's map and to have to work with things as you find them and then be able to transform them, and how that is like being someone in a creative community.
I'm Eugene Ciccini. I am an artist and an educator. I was invited to participate in this workshop a while ago, and what Megan was talking about was having us be involved in such a way so that we can have people be involved in the whole creative process about how you could, as a citizen or community member, create a space where you feel comfortable artistically. So my session was about how to people have the audience engage in a art making process. So it wasn't, the finished product wasn't the goal. It was to be engaged in making and a tearing and a folding of paper, and had people come and participate that way. So the idea was that we as a community were problem solving in a very timed, very constrained way.
My name is Gretchen Reynolds. I teach at the Department of Visual Art and Design at Weber State University. I teach art. I'm an artist, also a puppeteer, a performance artist, and a painter. My breakout session for the ACME sessions was to have the people design a chair together collaboratively. So what I asked them to do was to identify their area of expertise and then find someone else in the group who had a different area of expertise. The idea, the outcome that I was hoping for was that it would give people an opportunity to think outside of their own discipline, to teach their area of expertise, so approaching a project in the way that they knew to do from within whatever they were good at, and also to expand on ways of approaching creatively problem solving with a project.
And we both had these ideas of putting people together to collaborate. So we started talking about that, and we ended up coming up with, where can we get these opportunities to put more people together? Well, let's have conversations, let's put people around the table.
I found that was really challenging just to even get ideas out on paper. I had a flood of ideas, but I didn't know where to start. But then we switched and I ended up partnering with Robert. And I found it just really helpful to be able to kind of bounce the ideas back and kind of build on the ideas that we are kind of sharing together.
Community to me is inclusive, and yet there's so many art forms that we haven't been attuned to because of our condition. It's just a fact about the size of the city, kind of what it has to offer and all these other things. And, the idea of like there's an outsider art movement too. And when it's not popular or trendy, people lose touch with the authenticity of the expression.
If, maybe there are perceived barriers to participation, and if they exist, what are the ways we can break those barriers or reach out and make community members feel involved, or bring them to the table to have that conversation.
The idea that art is only you with your piece of paper laboring over it, and that you would never let someone enter into that space because they might ruin it or derail it. There's something to be said for occasionally opening yourself up to what that experience is too. And there are many